Yesterday, we looked at the fundamental theorem of linear programming, okay, which says that linear program can be categorized either as having a unique optimal solution, multiple optimal solutions. It could be unbounded linear program, or it could be infeasible linear program. Okay, so there are various types of linear program. Okay, before that we have seen the brute force way, okay, and which was quite expensive. So let us today see the algebraic method, algebraic simplex method. Okay, our algebraic simplex algorithm to solve what? To solve linear program. And more specifically, I am talking about the maximization type of linear program. Okay, maximization type of linear program I am talking about, with less than or equal to constraints. So the constraints are having the inequality of type less than equals to, and variables take the value non-negative. So all variables are non-negative. See, the same method cannot be used for every type of linear program. If it is a minimization type of linear program, uh, you have to do some pre-processing, then you can go for the same method. So right now I am talking about, remember, maximization type of linear program with less than equal to type of constraints and variables are non-negative. Okay, so let's see what is algebraic simplex method. Okay, so again, I am taking the same example so that you know the solution, right? 10x1 plus 9x2. Okay, and we know the optimal solution is, I think, 66. Okay, and 3 comma 4 is the optimal objective value is 66, and 3 comma 4 is the solution that we know. Okay, the same problem I am taking. So the first of all, what you need to do is you need to convert it into equation form. So I have to add slack variables. So in the first inequality, I have to add x3, and in the second inequality, I have to add x4. So my constraints become 3x1 plus 3x2 plus x3 is equal to 21, and next is 4x1 plus 3x2 plus x4 equal to 20. X3 and x4 are non-negative. Okay, that is greater than equals to 0. Okay, and I also add a 0x3 plus 0x4 in the objective function. Okay, so this is the first thing that you need to do. Now, remember yesterday I told you I should always search in the feasible space only. Then uh, I should have a progress, and the third, I should have a clear cut terminating condition when I should stop. That should be very much clear. Okay, so I should search in feasible space only. So this algorithm is like that only. So let's see. So this is an algebraic method, so it is a mathematical method. So what first I will do, I'll first make slack variables, that x3 and x4, as a basic variable. What does that mean? Other two variables I set to 0. So initially I set x1 and x2 to non-basic. Actually, we are intended to solve x for x1, x2, right? But I set it to 0. That is, I make that x1 and x2 as non-basic variables. Okay. Yesterday, I told you the reason why non-basic variables are set to 0. Because otherwise, you are getting the solutions uh, which are inferior in nature. Okay, so that's why it is set to 0. So what I do first, I set the x1 and x2, which are the original decision variables, x1 and x2. Okay, that I set to 0. Means I make x1 and x2 non-basic, which definitely means that x3 and x4 are basic variables. Okay, that means I am solving for x3, x4. So easily you can see what I can do. So see, whatever the basic variables are there, Okay, you have to write an equation in terms of that. So I'll write x3 is equal to 21, and you take this everything on the right side. 21 minus 3x1 minus 3x2. So on left hand side, it should be basic variables, and on right hand side of equation, it should be non-basic variables. That way I am arranging. Okay, so right now x3, x4 are basic, so they form the left side. So from the second equation, I write x4 equal to 24 minus 4x1 minus 3x2. Okay, z is I mean same, right? Z is already having a 0x3 0x4. Okay, so now you see here, now you see x1 and x2 are non-basic, which means this set to 0, which means this terms is set to 0. That means if you set them to 0, I get x3 equal to 21 and x4 equal to 24. Okay, because x1, x2, if it is non-basic, which means I set to 0. So x3 will be 21 minus 0 minus 0, which means 21. And x4 will be 24 minus 0, which will be 24. Z is definitely 0. Why Z is 0? Because x1 and x2 are non-basic, so they are set to 0. If you put x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0, right, you get this value as 0. So which means Z, the optimal objective value, is 0. And this is the first step. Okay, what I do, the first step of the algorithm, here I include the slack. I make the slack variables as a basic variable, and the original decision variables I make it non-basic, which means I am getting the very first solution, feasible solution. Okay, that is z equal to 0, and this occurs at what point? This occurs at x1 x2 0 comma 0. Okay, if you set x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0, which means 10x1 plus 9x2, which is z. Okay, this z is going to be 0. And you know this is one of the point of the boundary in the feasible region. Okay, so now yes, everybody got the idea. First step, is this clear? Others? Okay. Okay, so now let us see how to increase the z. My goal is to increase this value, right? 10x1 plus 9x2 plus 0x3 plus 0x4. And I can increase in two ways. Okay, you tell me, can I increase this value by increasing x3 or x4? Can I increase this value by increasing x3 or x4? No. Okay, so which one? So either I can increase x1 value, because if you increase x1 value, 10 into x1 will increase, or you can increase x2, so 9 into x2, that will increase. Okay, which out of x1 and x2 is more promising for increasing? So you can see x1 has a coefficient of 10, x1 has a coefficient of 10, while you see x2 has a coefficient of 9, which means if you increase x1 by just 1 unit, the value will increase by 10. Okay, so the change in the value will be 10 per unit increase in x1. Same way, if you increase x2 by 1 unit, it will be 9 unit increase in z value. So so z can be increased in either increasing x1 or x2, but which is more beneficial? So beneficial is x1, because x1 has a larger positive coefficient and we want to maximize. So x1 has a larger coefficient 10. So out of this x1 and x2, I will select what? X1. Okay, definitely it is very clear. This will has a 10 and this is 9. So increasing this x1 would have a greater impact okay, in getting maximum solution. Okay, so that will so coefficient of x1 is 10, so that's why we will choose x1 for increasing. So now listen, you carefully observe these two equations, these two. Okay, and if you see, once you start increasing x1, can I say x3 and x4 start decreasing? Once you start increasing x1, if you increase, like you increase this two, okay, don't worry about this. Okay, these are kept to 0, let's say. So can I say if I start increasing the value of x1, the x3 and x4 will certainly go down. Yes, okay. So by what amount I can increase x1? Okay, that means maximum how much I can increase. Assume x2 is 0, right? Initially, right now, x1 and x2 are non-basic. So right now, you can assume initially x1 is 0, x2 is 0. So these two are 0 itself. Okay, and I decided to increase x1. So x2 is still 0. So I can ignore these terms. Okay, so if you see, so I have these two things, 21 minus 3x1, 24 minus 4x. Okay, but what is the constraint on x3 and x4? That x3 and x4, yes, Tainish is correct, Janil is correct, I mean partially correct. X3 and x4 are greater than equal to 0, and that is a restriction. So I cannot increase x1 beyond 0 in negative direction. Okay, so minimum value that x3 can take is 0, right? And that will happen, as you said, when if you set this to 0, x3 to 0 and x4 to 0, you set it to 0, or so that way you can think. So 21 minus 3x1 is 0, which means x1 is equal to 7. Yes, very correct. Okay. So if you can increase maximum x1 in first equation, in this you can increase up to 7 only, because you see if you take 8, then 21 minus 3 into 8 is 24, so minus 3 will happen. So x3 will go negative, which is not allowed, because x3 should be non-negative. So in first equation, okay, x1 can go maximum up to 7. Okay, in first, x1 can take maximum 7, right? And same way, in second, x1 can go up to 6 only. Plus 24 minus 4x1 equal to 0 means x1 can be 6. If you take greater than 6, x1 equal to, let's say, 7, then x4 would go negative. 24 minus 28 with minus 4 will go negative. So in second, okay, in second, x1 can take max 6 value. Okay, but do I need to satisfy just the one constraint or both the constraints? Do I need to just yes, both the constraints? That means which value is allowed? You have already written, so let me confirm from your side. 6, very correct. So 6 minimum value out of this is 6. Okay, so which means when x1 is 7, okay, this 21 minus 3x1 term goes to 0. But at the same time, when x1 is 7, this 24 minus 4x1 goes negative. So I cannot take x1 equal to 7. This is also bad idea, because one of the constraint fails to be satisfied. Okay, so that's why we need x1 equal to 6. And now if you put x1 equal to 6, you can see both are proper. 21 minus 3x1, which means 21 minus 18 is 3, and 4 minus 4x1 is 0. Right, both are allowed, because these are the values and both are non-negative. 3 is greater than 0, 0 is equals to 0, and hence both are valid. So that means my conclusion is we can increase x1 up to 6 only. We can increase x1. So remember what I have done. From the objective function, I found that x1 I should increase. So that then I found that up to what extent I can increase x1. So that I found x1 can be increased maximum up to 6. Okay. So now this will be a basic variable. So this will be called an entering variable. Remember, x1 is called something known as entering variable. This is a terminology. x1 comes into the solution. Okay, which means, what do you mean by that? Which means x1 is going to come in the solution. Which also means that x1 is going to be basic. Okay, which also means that x1 comes at left hand side of the equation. These are the interpretation. x1 is going to enter to the solution, which means it is going to be basic. It is going to be basic, which means we are solving for x1, which means it comes on the left hand side of the equation. Okay, so for that purpose, what we do is, you see, okay, so you find out which equation give you 6 value. So this equation gave me the 6 value, right? x4 equal to 24 minus 4x1 minus 3x2. Earlier first equation gave me 7 value, which is not allowed, right? So this equation I take x4 equal to 24 minus 4x1 minus 3x2. This equation gave me x1 up to 6. So that equation I select, and I found that x1 can be increased up to 6. So I want to make x1 to be basic. Okay. So what I do, whatever I want to be basic, I make it on the left hand side. So I take this 4x1 on this side and rest of the thing on this side. So it becomes 4x1 is equal to 24 minus 3x2 minus x4. Divide both the sides by 4. I get x1 is equal to 24 by 4 is 6. 3 by 4 x2 minus 3 by 4 x2 minus 1 by 4 x4. Which means I am making x1 as a basic. And what are non-basic now? Can you tell me what are the non-basic from the equation? Anyone? x2, x4? Yes, Rishi is correct. Others? Do you agree? Yes. x2, x4 is correct answer. All of you agree with this? Yes. So x2, x4 are the non-basic. But this I found from which equation? From this equation. So I also want to make the first equation. I want to also make the first equation in terms of x2, x4. Okay, because so what I will do? Any idea? This equation, the first equation, I also want to rewrite it so that the right hand side of that will be in terms of x2 and x4. So what should I do? What should I do? Rishi, Priyank? 3x1 subject. Yes. Okay. Put in x. Yes. Simple. Very correct. So what I just do, if I put this value of x1, this value is of x1, right? That I obtain just by rewriting, arranging, right? And if I put this value of x1 in x3, okay, so this x1 will be replaced. Okay, so what I will do is put this value of x1 in the first equation, x3 equal to 21 minus 3x1 minus 3x2. So you can see if you put x1 equal to 6 minus 3 by 4 x2 minus 1 by 4 x4. Okay. So your 21 minus 3, I mean 3 into x1 minus 3 into x2. If you solve this, you get 21 minus 18, which is 3. Okay. Plus 9 by 4 x2 and minus 3 x2, which means minus 3 by 4 x2. Okay, this. And minus plus 3 by 4 x4. So now you can see this is also in terms of x2 and x4. So x3 is equal to 3 minus 3 by 4 x2 plus 3 by 4 x4, and x1 is 6 minus 3 by 4 x2 minus 1 by 4 x4. So you can see right hand side of both is in terms of x2 and x4. Okay, so right hand side is x2 and x4, which means x2 and x4 are non-basic. Okay, are non-basic variables. So what happened? If you think carefully, what happened is earlier in the first step, x3 and x4 were basic, right? Basic variables. In the second, I found that x1 should come into the solution. So there should something which should come into the solution, that is called entering variable. So I want to enter x1. So to enter x1, I have to leave something from the solution. So which variable do you think I left? Or x4? Very correct. Yes, I entered new variable x1, and you see I left x4, because why? I changed this equation x4 equal to something and I rewritten in terms of x1. So x4 is like on the right hand side. It is pushed on the right hand side. So x4 is just like a living variable. So x4 is becoming non-basic. Not leaving means it becomes non-basic. Entering means it becomes basic. Okay, so x4 left, so x4 is non-basic. So x4 from basic, it transited to non-basic. So that means it left the solution and new variable x1 come. Earlier it was x3, x4, right? Earlier it was x3, x4. Now it is x1 and x3, okay, which forms the left hand side, which means they are the basic, while x2, x4, they are on the right hand side, which means they are the non-basic. Okay, clear everyone? What I have done, the second step is clear. There is one point still, I have not changed the objective function. Okay, in objective function, still everything is in terms of x1 and x2. So what I will do, I will again put what? I will again put in place of x1 this value. Everywhere you have to put, right? x1 is entering, so x1 equal to 6 minus 3 by 4 x2 minus 1 by 4 x4. That I need to put in objective function, because I want everything in terms of x2 and x4. So my original objective function is z equal to 10x1 plus 9x2, but x1 I should put 6 minus this, okay, plus 9x2. Now you solve this. So you see 10 into 6 is 60. 30 by 4 means 15 by 2 x2. 10 by 4 means 5 by 2 x4 plus 9x2. Now if you just do arithmetic, I mean take x2 terms together, okay, 9 is 18 by 2, 18 minus 15, so 3 by 2 x2, right? Here, minus 5 by 2 x4, and you get 60. You see 60 plus 3 by 2 x2 minus 5 by 2 x4. Now see how to read this. how to read this. Interpretations are very important. This mathematics is, you know how to do easily, right? Interpretation is whatever is on the right hand side, if you set it to 0, I'll get a solution. Because I mean, right hand side variables are non-basic. So x2 and x4 are non-basic. So let us put it to 0. If I set this x2 to 0, if I set this x4 to 0, I'll get z equal to 60. I'll get z equal to 60. Okay. So I get z equal to 60. Same way, put the same thing in constraint also. Set x2 and x4 to 0. So I'll get this to be 0, this to be 0. So I'll get x1 equal to 6. Same way in the second equation, x2 equal to 0, x4 equal to 0. So I get x3 is equal to 3. Remember, it is x3. So the basic variable which we are solving is x1 is equal to 6, x3 is equal to 3. These are the basic, right? Above are the basic. Okay. And z equal to 60. Because other non-basics are set to 0. So that makes a... The question is how to turn x4 non-basic variable. I'm not getting. Oh. So x4, see, Priyank, initially this was the linear program. So what I done is initial entering variable are the slack variables. So initial whatever is entered will be slacks in this type of linear program maximization. So x3, x4 will be the entering variables. Other things will go on the right hand side. And now if you carefully observe, my goal is to maximize this function 10x1 plus 9x2. So the maximum coefficient is 10. So if I increase x1, it would be more beneficial toward getting maximum value of z. But simultaneously, I also need to worry about constraints. The constraint should not be violated. I cannot increase x1 beyond certain limit. So what I will do is, since initially x3 and x4 are basic, x1 and x2 are non-basic, which means they are set to 0. Okay. Initially, these are set to 0. So the solution is x3 equal to 21, x4 equal to 24. But since x1 and x2 are non-basic, they are 0. I get z equal to 0. Because if I put 10 into 0 plus 9 into 0, it will be 0. Okay. So now what to increase? So x1 to increase. So, but how much I can increase x1? This both are right now 0, right? x1 and x2 are right now non-basic. So they are both right now at 0. So how much I can increase? So I can increase x1, okay, yet x2 is yet 0, remember. But I can increase x1 up to 6 only, because that would make both the constraint feasible. So in that case, which equation gave me that? 6 value, 24 minus 4x1, that will be 0 when x1 is 6. So if you go beyond x1 equal to 6, this x4 would go negative. And so I cannot take. Okay. So what I want is, this equation is my handle to progress. So x4 is the handle. So that means x1 I want to increase and x4 is the handle. So that I changed x1 to a basic, and for that I remove x4. Remove means I pushed it on the right hand side. Is that clear, Priyank? Don't worry, 2 iterations are yet left, so the procedure will be very much clear. But let me give you the interpretation. Okay. So we have completed 2 iterations, iteration 1, iteration 2. Okay. If you see carefully, in iteration 1, x3, x4 were the basic. Okay. So x3, x4, I get 21, 24. Others you have to assume iteration non-basic. Okay, basic are this. In iteration 1, x3, x4 I get 21, 24, and z therefore I get 0. Why? Because x1, x2 are non-basic in first iteration, which means they are set to 0, which means z is equal to 0. So this is the first iteration. This is the first iteration. Now what happens in an iteration 2? Iteration 2, x1 can be increased up to 6. So x1 is 6. Okay. X3 is, I think, 3. That's what we have obtained, right? Yes. X1 is 6 by setting this. X3 is 3. You take x2, x4 to 0, and again x2, x4 to 0. So z equal to 6. So which means z is equal to 10x1 plus 9x2, which means z equal to 10 into 6, but 9 into 0. Why? Because x2 is still non-basic. Okay, so it is 60. 10 into 6, 60, but x2 is 0. So I improved the solution. Have you noticed this? Earlier the profit was 0, now it is 60. So getting the criteria number 2, that in every iteration I want to make a progress. Can you say this is a progress or not? Okay. Janit, can you tell me from which point you move to which point? Earlier x1, x2 in iteration 1, what was the value of x1, x2? And in iteration 2, what is the value of x1, x2? Can anybody write? Yes? Yes, very correct. Agree? Janil, Janit, others? Yes. 0, 0. If you see the corner point, so if you, I mean, see the graphical method, okay? So you see, I moved from 0, 0. Earlier I was here by setting the slack variables to 0. I moved to this point, 6, 0. You know this is an optimal, okay? But I moved from 0, 0 to 6, 0. That way I improved the solution, okay? So yes, 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 of course. This is just 9 minus 15 by 2. 9 minus 15 by 2 means 9 minus 7.5, which is 1.5, which means 3 by 2. Other thing is straightforward. Okay. Okay. So iteration 2 is there. So that means I get a progress. Okay. Now you see, now you apply. This is definitely not the terminating. Okay. Now how to know whether we reached the solution or not? That is third criteria. So the thing is, you see, look at Z and you see, can I improve the solution further? You see the Z. Can I improve the solution further? And the answer is yes. Why? Because you can improve this Z by either increasing x2 or by decreasing x4. Yes or no? We can increase Z in two ways. Yes, either you can increase this x2. X2, if it is increased, then definitely 60 plus something will go, right? Will increase, right? Or other ways, you have to decrease the x4 because minus 5 by 2 is there. So x4, if it is negative, x4 is negative, then only you can increase their value. Okay, but you know we can't make x4 less than 0. So x4, this is not an option because x4, once it is less than 0, this z will be greater than 60. Okay. So this is not an option. So this is a bad option because x4 I cannot make negative. That is a non-negative constraint. So only one thing is in my hand, that is x2. Still I can improve the solution by increasing x2. So I can still improve the solution by increasing x2. Okay. X2 is right now 0. Remember, right now x2, x4 are non-basic. Remember, x2, x4 in the iteration 2 are non-basic, which means they are set to 0. So out of these two, which of the x2 and x4 I have to select for increasing the objective value of function? So I have to improve this by increasing x2 and not by decreasing x4. Why? Because that would increase only if x4 is negative, and that is not allowed. So this is a way to detect if there is any positive value like plus 3 by 2 into x2. If there is any positive value on the right hand side of the objective function, there is a chance of improvement. If everything goes negative, that means you reach to the solution. Now you cannot improve. So you think about that, in place of plus 3 by 2, if it would have been a minus 3 by 2, then there is no way to improve. Why? Because if you decrease x2, in order to increase that, x2 should be less than 0. Okay, so then there is no way to improve this. So are you getting that we have not reached to the terminating yet? That can be understood from the Z equation. Priyank, Urjit, Kushal, getting this? Janit, Janil. Okay, fine. So, yes. So this is the way to check. Okay, so Z is this, so I can still improve x2. So now you tell me, okay, so I am asking you the question. In iteration number 3, what is entering and what is leaving variable? What is entering and what is leaving variable? You at least tell me about x2 is entering. Very perfect, right? Because x2 I can increase. So x2 is entering. So x2 is entering, so what to leave? So that I have to search. From where to search? So from these two equations, we obtain in iteration 2. You have to always see the previous iteration only, right? So you see, these two are the equations in iteration 2. Okay. So how much I can increase x2? So remember, x2, x4 are right now 0. x4 is still 0, right? But x2 I want to increase. So how much I can increase x2? So it is 6 minus 3 upon 2 x4. So maximum you can increase x2 until this becomes 0, because if it is becoming less than 0, the x1 will go negative, which is not allowed. So if you solve this, 6 into 2, 12 by 3. So x4 can take here 4 value. Okay, x4 can take 4 value for this. If you set this to 0, right? Same, because x4 is already at 0, right? And here 3 minus 3 by 4. If you set this to 0, okay, so you will get x2 equal to 4. Sorry, if there is something, it is 3 by 4, right? So here it is 6 into 4 by 3, it's 8. Sorry, here it should be 8. So x2 can be increased up to 8 only. Let me erase so that you can understand. x2 you can increase up to 8 only. Okay, 3 because if when x2 is 8, 3 into 8, 24 by 4, 6 minus 6 will be 0. So you cannot take 9 for this. Okay. Same way, I have to also see the second constraint, where x2 can be increased up to 3 minus 3 by 4 x2 equal to 0. So you can increase x2, because when you start increasing x2, this x3 will start reducing, because there is a negative, you see. So when x2 becomes 4, okay, so here you get x2 equal to 4, here you get x2 equal to 8. What do you think? what is the limiting, Urjit? Okay. See, Urjit, these are the two equations. Entering is x2, that is very clear, that x2 is entering. Which one to leave, that is the question. So for that, what I have to do, right now x2 and x4 both are at 0, because in iteration 2 both are non-basic, x2, x4. So only option is I have to increase x2. But you see carefully, if I increase x2 from 0 to 1 to 2 something, this x1 start reducing. Same way, when I increase this x2, this x3, this is x3, will start falling. Urjit, am I saying correct or not? Yes. So that means I have to satisfy both the constraint. So up to, in this first equation, up to what you can increase the value? So it is 6 minus 3 by 4 x2. x4 is still 0. If you set it to 0, it will be 6 equal to 3 by 4 into x2. To solve this, x2 will be 6 into 4 by 3, which is x2 will be 8. So I can increase in first equation maximum up to 8. But this is not a correct answer, because I have to see both the equations. Okay. And I have to choose the value of x2 such that both will be satisfied. Getting, Gurjit? Yes. Same way, this value, 3 minus 3 by 4 x2. Yes, Yash is very correct. 4 is the limiting constraint. 4 is the limiting constraint. Because 3 minus 3 by 4 x2, if you set it to 0, 3 equal to 3 by 4 x2, x2 will be 4. So x2 is 8 here, x2 is 4 here, but I want to satisfy both the constraints, so you can take maximum 4. Okay, Yash is very correct. So minimum out of this 8 and 4 is the maximum value that you can take, right? Minimum out of this 2 is the maximum value you can take, because if you take a 5, then one of the thing will go negative. Okay, even if you take 5, you see 3 minus 15 by 4. So this would go negative. Okay, so I cannot take even 5. So minimum out of 8 and 4 is a maximum value that I can take. So the maximum value of x2 that I can take is up to, I can 4 only. Everybody clear with this? This is very important. That's why. Yes. Okay. So now, okay. So then you tell me, Yash will, I think, tell me which one is the leaving variable, Yash? Because I think you got this concept, right? Which one will leave? Out of these two equations, in which equation you get the minimum value? 8 and 4. Here you got 8, here you got 4. So this is a limiting, right? x3 equal to, so this one is limiting value. Here I get the limiting value. So in that limiting constraint, corresponding constraint, okay, I have to enter x2, and for that I have to leave x3. Very correct. Yes, x3 is leaving. Okay, so I will use this equation. Remember, it's not that any one equation randomly I pick and do this and that. Okay, carefully you have to examine this limiting values, and you have to see which equation gives the limiting constraint, and then accordingly you have to leave. Please remember this. Okay, so this equation I will take. So I will take this x3 equal to 3 minus 3 by 4 x2 plus 3 by 4 x2, right? This equation. Okay, so now this is just a mathematics. So if you want to make x2 to enter, so you will take this here and you will leave x3. So this will come on the right hand side. So it will become 3 by 4 x2 equal to 3 minus x3 plus 3 by 4 x4. Okay. And so this is very easy. And now you want just x2 on the left hand side. So you multiply both the side by 4 by 3. Okay, so if you multiply both the side by 4 by 3, okay, 4 by 3, 3 by 4 cancels. So x2, 4 by 3 into 3, so it's 4. 4 by 3 x3, and 4 by 3 into 3 by 4 x4, so x4. So this is my equation which is I obtained. So you can see x2 become basic. x2 become basic. And now you see what is the constraint which is left? In the one in which I got 8, this is already on right hand side, there is x2, x4. So the value of x2 that I obtain, I have to put in this equation star, let me say it star, so that I get everything proper. So put this value of x2 in the first. First means 6 minus 3 by 4 star. 3 by 4 x2 minus 1 by 4 x4. Okay. So this value, why to put? You will say why to put? Because I want everything in terms of x3, x4 on the right hand side. So I want x3 and x4 as non-basic. So you notice one thing, x3 and x4 are now non-basic because they are, I want them to be non-basic. So I have to put x2 equal to this. So it will be 6 minus 3 by 4 into entire this value minus 1 by 4x. Okay. So if you solve this, it will be 6 minus 3 plus x3, something like this. Okay, you can do this, okay? And now it is 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay. X3 is as it is. 3 by 4 and 1 by 4 combined to 1. So minus x4. So x1 is this. So you can see this is my new equation. X1 is this. 3 plus x3 minus x4. X2 is this. 4 plus 4 minus 4 by 3 plus x4. Everybody got this iteration? This is an iteration number 3. Yash, Rishi, Urjit, Priyank, Kushal. Getting this? I hope others are also getting, because tabular method is very much related to this. Unless you understand this, you will not be able to get the tabular one. Okay. So, so now the last thing. Earlier, the objective function was this, z equal to 60 plus 3 by 2 x2 minus 5 by 2 x4. Okay. You have to also put here the values of x2. So value of x2 also you have to put 4 minus 4 by 3 x3 plus x4. And now you see, you get the answer, right? 60 plus 3 by 2 into 4. So it is 6. 60 plus 6 is 66. Okay. 3 by 2 is minus 2x3. 3 by 2 x4 minus 5 by 2 x4. So 3 minus 5 minus 2 by 2, it's minus x4. It is minus 2x3. So you see, if you set this x3 and x4, which are non-basic, now, if you set them to 0, what is the objective value that you are going to get? What is the objective value that you are 66? Very correct. Okay, 66. And what is the solution? If you set this to 0, this to 0, x3 and x4 to 0, again in this 2, what is the solution? X1 equal to 3, and yes, x1 equal to 3, x2 equal to 4. Okay, it should be written 3, 4 because x1 equal to 3, x2 equal to 4. Okay, so x1 equal to 3, x2 equal to 4. And now you see, again from iteration 2, I get an improvement, because in iteration 2, I got 60. Okay. And the value was 60, right? 60. X1 was 6, x2 was 0. Now I get 3, 4. I got optimal objective value 66. You can verify that. 10x1 plus 9x2. So you put x1 equal to 3, x2 equal to 4. I get 66. So this is also feasible. Progressively finds the better solution. See, always I found a feasible solutions, right? And I terminated when I reached the solution. Now I cannot do anything. You can see why. I told you the reason, because in Z, this Z, both, there is no way to improve, because I can improve only if x3 becomes less than 0 and x4 becomes less than 0, which is not allowed. So there is no way to improve this Z, and which means, okay, we can't improve Z by increasing x3 or x4, which means I reach to solution, because x3 and x4 I cannot, and which means, you see in graphical method, from this point I move to this point. So started from this to this, my journey was from this to this. Iteration 1 was this, iteration 2 was here, and in the third iteration I go through this, and at 3 4, which is the solution that I got. Getting the correlation or relation between graphical method as well as this algebraic method. Yes, you can understand this equation, and doing this everything is okay if the linear program is small size, right? If the linear, yes, if linear program is very big, like 3 4 constraint, okay, I mean, you have to change, you have to find out entering, and then you have to change the equation, other all equations you have to change, objective function you have to change, and then you need to see whether we can improve or not. So this is a tedious process, okay, and that's why I have a easy way to manage this. The process is same, but the management becomes easy, okay, rather than completely equation form like this. I have a tabular form. So remember, both are semantically same, no change, okay. So simplex tabular method, okay, is equivalent, okay, is equivalent, there is no change to simplex algebraic method. The method that we just discussed is also simplex, it is an algebraic method, okay. So that we will discuss tomorrow, okay. But you see, one point I want to notice, if you have noticed, that I have never checked this corner point. So, I mean, it's not a brute force. It's not to see everything in the corner and then finding the best, okay, but rather doing few iterations and then finding the best. So it is not a brute force. It is much more effective than the brute force. When the linear programs goes larger, this method is going to be more effective and efficient compared to brute force method. Am I saying correct or not? Rishi, Yash, Kushal? Yes. Okay. So fine. In tomorrow's lecture, we will see one example of tabular method. Yes, everything is updated in the folder, Sayanish. You just verify that today morning itself. Even whatever is not covered, that also I have put. So you can refer that. Is it okay? That. Okay, fine. So I end this class today. Tomorrow we'll see tabular method, and one few examples are left for conversion from that description to linear program. Okay, that also we will see in the subsequent lectures. Thank you so much. With this, I end.